Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the chilihead community, by the chilihead community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, we have an amazing episode here tonight. We have one sauce on deck for Hot or Not, an amazing guest locked and loaded, and of course, we had to bring back a very fun game. Episode 76 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for being here. Could not do this without y'all, so thank y'all so much. Hey, if this is your first time checking out the show, glad that you're here. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of spice. So this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. And up tonight, we have an amazing episode. We have one product on Hot or Not. So if you're looking for a taco hot sauce and you've always been trying to figure out which one should I put there, tonight we have a taco sauce from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. So we will be diving into that, as well as we have Brandon Wright of Chico Blanco Hot Sauce here as our guest tonight. So we will be diving into all the discussions that got him started, and of course, all the fun that came along the way. And of course, we brought back a very fun game of the 5. So go ahead and, if you would have answered something different, let me know down below in the comments. And let's go ahead and kick it on over to Hot or Not. Hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. We have an amazing sauce here at Taco Hero from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. Man, as you can see here, we have an amazing looking label, very nice overall representation. Love the tassel that goes on this bottle and some added little flair there for you. So if this is your first time checking out the show, or this is your first time checking out Hot or Not, I do things a little bit different here. I don't do a 1 out of 10 scale. I do 1 out of 5. That's based off of these 5 categories you see right here. That's heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. From that, I add those up, get the average, and that is our total swear word rating. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this bottle here and get it going. All right, so while we get this open, I'm going to go ahead and put the tassel off to the side. And we will inspect here. The cellophane, for those that are keeping track, is not one that has a perforated tab. So no worries, no harm, no foul. I enjoy using my knife anyways to open these. So get a nice little cut on that and peel it off. Simple enough. Give it a good shake. All right. Now, let's talk about the color, the consistency, what we see going on here. Very nice, dark red, almost brownish color to it. It looks like a nice medium consistency sauce, maybe medium to medium thick. This one opened up, boom. Hear that nice pop of the seal. No need for flow restrictors there. Perfectly fine with me. I like the sake of the pour to go smooth. Oh, wow. Right off the aroma, very zesty, very bright, very much like you're just, it's a taco in a bottle, with a name like Taco Hero. That's what you would expect, and you are definitely greeted with that here. It's just dancing on the nostrils. It's absolutely phenomenal aroma. Let's dive into it. All right, here we go. Let's get a good pour going. Very nice. It has definitely got some good hold to it. A nice overall consistency to the sauce. You will not have to worry about it just running out of the bottle. I would say it's a nice medium to medium high hold on this. Much like the aroma that you're greeted with straight from the bottle Just smelling it there, phenomenal, very noticeable. You're going to pick it up right away. The second it is on the spoon, the second that there's more surface area for it to actually come in contact with the air, it is opening up so much more with an aroma standpoint. I mean, it smells like a taco on my spoon. Very bright overall spices, smell, aroma. You're smelling a little bit of cumin, quite possibly some onion going on here. You're definitely picking up some notes of peppers as well, but it's a very smoky overall aroma and feel going on here. So let's dive on in. Very smooth, but with a nice texture to the sauce. Man, that is tasty. Oh my goodness, that's tasty. Taco Hero is definitely going to be a hero on your taco. That is phenomenal. Now, Chico Blanco also has Sandwich Hero. And if you caught my review for that, that also is a very tasty sauce, and that's geared towards sandwiches. Very friendly for everyone, for the whole family. Now, with the Taco Hero, I would say this is definitely in that same realm. It's got just enough flavor and heat from the peppers to be noticeable, but not really going to burn you down. So if you're just starting out, or if you're one that your whole family likes to eat spicy, but maybe they're just not to the same level as you, this is one that you could get. You could have out for the family, and it is going to be delivering just the right amount of heat for them. And that great flavor and heat that you're getting is a nice little kiss, chef's kiss to the dish that you have going on. I mean, absolutely going to be slathering this up on some tacos. This is not one that I would potentially use on, say, desserts. Not really geared towards that. That's perfectly fine. As the name implies, it is designed and intended for tacos, but I could see this going phenomenal on any kind of Mexican dish, as well as, this would go great on some pizza and go great on some burgers. So looking forward to trying it out with those. Nice torta, this would go phenomenal on too. That would be absolutely amazing. Still just salivating like crazy over this. The initial heat as it comes on, you're getting a little bit towards the mid of the mouth, but not too bad. You're really greeted more with the flavor and the nice body throughout this. Nice kind of smoky, earthy notes from the peppers and everything that's in here. You're getting a nice little kiss of, maybe what potentially is a little bit of citrus, but you're mostly picking up some cumin, some onions, some garlic. All these things are kind of all balancing out, which also makes sense as to why this would be called Taco Hero. Those are pretty common found ingredients whenever you're thinking of a taco seasoning, and that's what I would imagine is going on here, because it definitely embodies that. As far as the heat and burn goes, this is definitely going to be safe and geared towards those individuals that are just starting out, or if you're pushing your tolerance all the time and you're really working on your own personal best, this is going to be a phenomenal one to bring forward some great pepper flavor and tons of flavor to amplify your dish that you have going on, and really be able to just enjoy it. Now, with that being said, it's going to be a nice mild heat sauce for you if you are working on your own personal best at all times. But absolutely amazing. What I'm tasting right now could be, if I had to guess, it would be a little bit more of a poblano, possibly. There's maybe like a serrano or a jalapeno going on in this, as well as, there's something else. There's a different, almost earthy pepper, like familiar pepper note to me in this sauce. So definitely excited to see what's going on in it. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. Let's read off some ingredients. So ingredients are distilled vinegar, chilies, which constitutes as Cajun's Jumbo Serranos. There we go. Hatch and ancho. Then we have brown sugar, garlic, salt, onion, cumin, and spices. Phenomenal stuff here. Taco Hero from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. Phenomenal stuff. Oh, he does have he has a heat scale on the side of this, he as well marks it as mild. So it says mild, medium, hot, or hell. And this one has it marked as mild, which definitely, factors out and makes sense. And then obviously it has the QR code to keep in contact, as well as the hot sauce company info. Heat for Taco Hero from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce coming in at 2.75. We have aroma of 4.2. We have flavor of 4.25, a versatility of a 4, a burn of 2.89 for a total swear word rating of 3.62. There we go. Another amazing sauce. If you're looking for a taco sauce to really spice up the day and bring in some great flavor the whole way through, highly recommend checking out Taco Hero from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. I will have the direct links for everything down below, how you can keep up with Chico Blanco Hot Sauce, all the amazing sauce that they have. Whether you're looking for Sandwich Hero or Taco Hero, highly recommend checking out both of those. But hey, let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
Good. How's it going, Brandon?
Man, it is going good. Glad to have you here. Obviously, we have had quite a few laughs, quite a few burning sessions, if you will, from afar together.
Man,
Shared misery, shared joy, whatever you want to call it. So glad to have you here.
yeah, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, this is, one of the things I always like to lead off with is really getting a better understanding of what got you into eating spicy food and what was the catapult moment that you said, I'm going to start creating my own products.
Yeah, for me, it really, it's kind of funny. And I tell stories ADHD, fair warning, so I'm gonna be jumping all over. But so kind of funny enough, before I met my wife, I absolutely hated spice. Actually, I couldn't
Oh,
handle
wow.
any
Okay.
spice at all. Like hot Cheetos, I would go panic mode. Like I was the worst you could ever meet. And now, obviously, something changed. I think the biggest thing was just meeting my wife. She's Filipino and she's into spicier food, and so she was always into spicy food. And she thought it was funny once to order some wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and she told me they were barbecue, but they were really the mango habanero, and that sent me into full panic mode. She thought it was hilarious, but now I get to play the jokes. But so yeah, I mean, I started out, I didn't really like spice, and then during COVID is really when everything kind of started flipping for me. So I always saw her, enjoying the spicy foods and kind of jealous I couldn't do that. So I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start building my tolerance. So I started out with sriracha. Every day I would just eat whatever, put it on Tabasco. That was my next workup, and then just from there I slowly started going. And then of course COVID hit, and got furloughed from my job. So I had a bunch of spare time. I picked up fishing, hunting, and one of the things I was experimenting and just kind of playing around with just different hobbies. We were all so bored at home. Was came across a couple hot sauce videos, and I was like, let me try making some hot sauce. I'm trying to build my tolerance, and from there, just pretty much catapulted. I started making batches at my wife's mother-in-law's. We were living there at the time, so started making batches in her house and smoking out the whole kitchen, making everybody cough. But yeah, I gave a few batches to some friends, and they're like, "Man, this stuff is good. I like it." And I couldn't handle it, but I was still slowly increasing my tolerance. But I would say during COVID, that's really where everything started taking off, and I just started making batches, and it was probably like mid 2020, and I made like 3 different sauces, wrote down the recipe, then started researching more. I got into fermenting for a while. I did a lot of fermented sauces, and whenever I get interested in something, I do a bunch of research. So I just catapulted from there, and it kind of stuck. And also spice, it's kind of stuck with me as well, because at the time when we found out that she was pregnant, um, I was like heavily addicted to nicotine. I was doing the vapes and stuff before I had smoked. So
Mm-hmm.
like for 7 years, 6 or 7 years straight, just vaping, vaping, vaping. And now Spice kind of took over that. So it all just kind of worked out. And then from there, it's just catapulted. And then came across the hot sauce groups, found Cap Crew through Robert Davis, joined, and it's been history, man. Ever
Man,
since. Every time, just building my tolerance, getting it up to where it is now. Now I get to laugh at the wife, and then just creating stuff. I just love it. I love making sauces. I've always been a foodie, so and that's kind of what got me here. It's just my passion now. It's my thing. Spicy
nice.
hot sauce.
Nice, nice. Yeah, a few things on that. One that you had mentioned as far as being able to shake the nicotine habit, if you will. That's always one of those great stories that you hear. Actually, pretty common across whatever substance it is. Having that capsaicin kind of come in and really alleviate that. Obviously, it's a lot of those endorphins that are dumping that kind of gives you that more or less the pick me up, a very clean, healthy pick me up, if you will.
Yeah.
Because the second you're done enduring that pain, you just feel that nice wave of relief.
Yep.
So very cool to hear that. And you already mentioned it as well with the fermented sauce. I was going to say, with Filipino dishes in general, the different fermented ingredients and all the things that kind of go into certain dishes. Filipino dishes are not known for being, weak in heat. So to be able to jump in on that end is definitely got to be, a stepping stone. And it sounds like you went about it in a very, very thought out way, being able to go with the sriracha to Tabasco and then just continue to work your way up. And that next step of really being able to lock in your own sauce and then increase as seeing fit for what your personal tolerance is needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, now your wife, how spicy does she end up actually going?
So before when we first met, I feel like it might have been a little bit higher, but like I said, her favorite wings were the mango habanero, which for somebody who's not a chili head, those are pretty high up there. They're decent, and also the I'm gonna butcher this name so bad. The El Yucca,
Oh, yep, yep.
that one, the habanero one. That used to be so hot to me. It used to kick my butt. Like the only thing I could really handle back then was even as a kid. The only real hot sauce I did was Red Devil.
Okay,
I don't know if
okay.
you've had that, but that was like pretty much my thing. But yeah, so she was like probably habanero level, and then now she might be a little bit higher. She might be like ghost pepper. She used to love that one, but sometimes it kicks her butt. So she's kind of back and forth.
Understandable, definitely understandable. Yeah, that's the reason why I ask as well is because so my wife had about the same thing. It was before my daughters were born. She was actually eating spicier, and then about the time that she got pregnant was really whenever her tolerance dropped and changed. And now she's just very comfortable around the habanero, and that's ultimately kind of where she stays. There'll be a few occasions where she'll grab a hot sauce that has a ghost pepper, as one of the ingredients in it, and a little bit too much, and the next thing you know, she's like, all right, I'm done with that one. Like, give me something else. So
Yeah, well, I think she's been getting more interested in it too. She did her first couple Robbies. Of course, they were on the lower end, but it's something.
yeah, hey,
Got to start over. And you know what? I didn't mention this too. Like, whenever I joined Cap Crew, and I was really starting to get into the tinctures and the real spicy stuff.
yeah,
I started out with tincture. Well, I don't know if you could consider it a tincture. I consider it a sludge from what was it? Inferno Farms, and it's called Lava
okay,
Drops. And so I would sit there and I would just do a drop on my tongue, and then I would sit there and just suffer and just for like probably good 10-15 minutes, and then it would come down. And then I'd go grab it and I'd do another one. I just kept doing that, and then eventually, as eventually just you don't feel it, and you're like, oh, look at that! It only burned for a few minutes.
yep, yep, definitely. It's amazing. So once again, you had mentioned it too. The journeys just collectively, we'll just say collectively, everyone's journeys that they go upon. It's their own. The beauty of it is it's really their own journey. And if you are burning, if you are having fun, if you are loving what you're doing, man, that's the biggest part about it, ultimately. And so to hear, as you were even describing with the taking the drop and kind of getting going and so on and so forth, uh, those moments are definitely ones that are ingrained in the mind of your overall experience as a chili head. And
Yeah.
so it's super cool to see and hear everyone's experience and kind of what got them to where they are. So,
Right. Yeah. And that really helps too. Like, especially when you're getting ready for an event, like how I have the Fiery Food Show coming up at the end of the month. I usually start with Tink like a week or two before, and same thing. I'll just periodically set alarms on my phone to drop it. Oh, time to drop, because I found that it's way more of an experience when your tolerance is real high, because you could actually taste way more. You don't have to
hmm
pause so much in between, and you just get way more flavors the higher your tolerance is.
yep,
So like last year, I did that. I built it right before I went, and we went booth to booth to booth to booth to booth, and I was just able to try them all. And then the wife, of course, after like the second one, she's like, "All right, I'm done. I'm tapping."
yep, yep. Know that experience all too well. Yeah, I as well. I'm one that if the door is over here, I will walk from booth, all the way down one row, then come back the opposing side of that same row, and then just continue to snake through. And
Yep.
I don't let up until I'm absolutely done with it all. It's also one of those mentally gratifying things to be like a check in the box. I have completed it all.
Yeah.
Um, and then to that point, you just mentioned like building up your tolerance. So many folks that are either whether they're just consuming what's out there and they're out there for maybe the first time or whatnot. It's always funny whenever you get those comments of like, "Well, you've just been going from table to table to table. Can you really even tell any difference?" And it's like,
Yeah. You
yeah.
can.
Why can you not? Like, it's kind of confusing me right now.
I'm sure
But
you've had it too, where you try a hot sauce, and if your tolerance is real high, you're like, "Oh yeah," you pick up all these notes, and then if you let your tolerance drop, you try it again, you're like, "I don't taste anything. This is hot."
yep, yep. No, that definitely happens, and it happens far too often. In a sense of like, it's one of those things. Tolerance is interesting topic, if you will, as well, because like you could be pushing yourself and really working yourself up and have something great going, and then you take even a week, 2 weeks off,
Yeah.
and the drastic change that does happen is interesting. Now, I have been lucky and I've had times where it seems to be a slower drop,
Yeah.
but those are kind of few and far between if you really think about the overall picture, because most of us incorporate spice one way, shape, or form into our daily activities.
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, I have been brushing with that what chili mouth toothpaste. My wife once again is like, all right, is this a little bit too far? Now you got spice in your toothpaste. And it's I mean, I love it. Honestly, it's been so far my favorite toothpaste to use. But it's that welcoming, inviting, all too familiar taste of capsaicin on the finish that really kind of does it for me.
Really.
So yeah, it's definitely an interesting journey as you continue,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
incorporating
I've never
capsaicin.
tried it, but I've always seen it. I'm like, first thing in the morning. It's always that first hit too. Like whenever you do like that first spicy thing, it always gets you. You're like, oh, and then after the kind of the shock wears down, and you're like, all right.
Yep. Well, I mean, as well as anyone really, with the whole seeing some of the stuff in Cap Crew, I'm much of a wake and burn if I can, or late night burner. I like to have that empty stomach going
The
on.
emptier the stomach, the better for you.
Yeah. Oh man, it is so true. It doesn't. There's no out of times that I've tried it and I've tried to incorporate different methods, or others will suggest something, it just never works out that way for me.
Really.
So yeah, it's just like it's 10 times worse, if you will, for some reason. It's like my body just wants to hold on to the food and then also hold on to all the heat at the same time, and it's breaking down the food instead of focusing energy on breaking down the heat that is
Yeah.
in the gut. So then it just kind of aggravates more. That's my my guess on that, best educated guess. But
Yeah, everybody's body's a little bit different when it comes to tink. Everybody's methods are to their own, to each your own.
yep, yep.
Me,
Well,
I personally like going with the very heavy, just liquid.
yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's the only thing is, well, I drink coffee like all the time. So that if I'm not fasting, and even when I fast, all I drink is black coffee. So it's not, I don't really count that as being much. There's no real, everything I get is very just plain as far as coffee. No added flavors, none of that.
Yeah.
So I don't ever view that as breaking it. And even whenever I've tested, I've never actually fallen out of ketosis or anything of that nature. So,
Mm.
yeah, no, that's kind of the thing that fuels. But I have found out that if I drink, more coffee after doing something insanely hot, oh man, it just aggravates my stomach.
Really?
So I have to like give myself about a 45-minute window post burn before I can start sipping coffee again without getting that, gut punch. So
Yeah.
I don't know, speeding up the metabolism maybe. That's kind of what coffee does naturally. So maybe that's it is why it like hits harder. But yeah. Well, I don't want to talk too much on that because you do have some amazing sauces. I had Taco Hero on here tonight, and then obviously I have had Sandwich Hero reviewed and up on the channel as well. Both of these are phenomenal, very intentional with your direction on these sauces. As I had mentioned as well with Taco Hero, I can see this going phenomenal on any kind of Mexican dish in general, not
Mm.
just tacos. But man, tell me a little bit about like the overall inspiration, the mindset that kind of went into these sauces.
Well, to start off with sandwich hero, it's one that I had been pondering for a while in my head that I wanted to make. Because there's a really good local sandwich place and they have a really good sauce there, but it's not spicy. So that was pretty much the gist of it. Like, that's where it all hit me. And I'm like, this would be really good if I could, kind of get the flavor notes that I'm getting here, but just add some heat to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it all kind of started. And I played around with that. I did 6 different batches before I was happy with it, and had the wife taste test it as well, make sure her and then the family as well, because they're familiar with it. And they were like, oh, yeah, this is good. So that was kind of the basis for it. I was just like, man, this is so good. Like, somebody needs to make it. And the thing is, the ingredients that they were using, of course, I kind of looked over and seen like the kind of bases that they were running with, and I switched a few things out because the other thing is theirs has to be kept refrigerated.
Mm.
So like a lot of out of staters and stuff, if they want it, they can't really get it because they can't really ship it cold, and they don't. So that was my other thing is like, I want more people to be able to experience this. Like, the flavor's so good, so tweaking all those ingredients and making it to where it's shelf stable, doesn't have to be refrigerated, and adding in some spice. So
Yep.
that's kind of where that one came from.
Okay. Now, on that note, have you, with this local sandwich shop, is it's still local to you right now, or?
Yeah, they're actually kind of branching out. They've been branching out the last couple years, but yeah, it's local to New Mexico, and I think they opened one in Colorado, and I think they're planning on or about to open one in Texas. So they're just now kind of breaking out of New Mexico.
Got it, got it. Well, I mean, I say that all to say, have you brought your sauce to them to say, hey, I see what you've done here, but mine's way better, and this is why you need to start using my stuff.
I haven't. I've definitely thought about it, um, possibly, but that one I've actually talked to a separate local sandwich shop, and they were kind of interested in thinking about making it like their signature sauce.
Okay.
Um, but that one isn't officially like brought to market. I was still kind of selling it under the radar. But now with like Taco Hero, we're legit FDA approved, the full 9 yards. So that's kind of my goal, and this is be a good segue into Taco Hero. Is this one's kind of my stepping stone. So I want to continue with Taco Hero, build it up, and then get Sandwich Hero going with it. And then I want to do like a whole lineup of hero sauces. And I have another idea for like a separate category as well.
Okay. Okay.
But Taco Hero right now is kind of like my stepping stone.
Well, both Sandwich Hero and Taco Hero are extremely tasty. Definitely family hits so far with the Sandwich Hero. I had to, I had to just let my wife also take over and have some of it because I shared it once and she was like, "Okay, this is good," and so we were going back and forth on the bottle with their sandwiches that we would make at home. And I even gave some to both my daughters. So, but my youngest was the one that was like dipping everything into it. So she would like I'd put it on her sandwich, and then she was like, "No, I want it on my plate." And then she's over there dipping like carrots and all kinds of stuff into it and eating it.
Potato chips.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I was actually thinking of doing that with both of the Sandwich Hero or Taco Hero, putting that in just a nice amount, just closing up the bag, shaking it, getting it nice and
Oh
incorporated,
yeah.
and going to town on them because that sounds like a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, and I love it, and that's why I'm trying to kind of break it into. Eventually, I want to have like a whole lineup of products in the future. We're talking, probably a few years out, but I want to have a whole like lineup from salsas to barbecues to this to I just want to get crazy with it because I
Yep.
love experimenting, tweaking stuff, and I actually just need to make like one more tweak to Sandwich Hero until I'm like fully happy with it. But that's exactly what I want, and I don't really go too crazy on the heat for my sauces. But eventually, I want to branch off and have two separate. So I'll have like the hotter side for the real, chili heads looking for extreme, and then mainly though, I like the family friendly one because everybody can enjoy it.
Yep. Well, as you're saying that, and as you were, explaining the idea, the lineup, where your intent and your direction is on your sauce line, it stands out to me that this could be a great opportunity for, say, all your entry sauces, signature sauces, to be all the hero line, like you're saying, and the
Mm-hmm.
hotter version be the villain line.
Yeah.
Uh, I like where that could potentially go. That would also be a very clear expectations of what you're going to get when you're
Mm-hmm.
grabbing for one of those bottles.
Exactly. So I want to have a whole hero line, a whole villain line, and then I was also thinking in the future if I want to like, let's say for example, like I want to do a pickle sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't like pickle hero. It doesn't really like click. It doesn't really ring. So I want to do a boss series, is what I'm going to call it. So I'll do
Okay.
like pickle boss, this boss, that boss. But I want to branch off and do everything like pizza hero, hot dog hero. Like we can get as crazy as I want.
Yeah. No, I think that sounds amazing, and
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. Some people they're like, well, why would you just name it that? Like it goes better on like so much other stuff. And honestly, there's two main reasons why I kind of like it though. Is because if somebody isn't like super into hot sauce or anything, and they see sandwich hero, they're like, oh, okay, I'll try it on a sandwich, and then they kind of start playing with it on other stuff, and then they kind of create their own. They're like, it's also really good on this. It's also really good on that. But would they have initially tried it if it didn't, just stand out and slap them in the face and say sandwich hero?
yeah, I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, exactly what you're describing is being able to set and guide clear expectations of the product's intended use. I mean, afterwards is really kind of where the creative juices fall in the hands of the user.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. For all those that are watching right now, here is the Chico Blanco Hot Sauce Etsy store right now. This is where you can find it and how you can get a hold of all the Chico Blanco Hot Sauce products, as well as some swag on here. Phenomenal, lineup of reviews and everything going on as well. So if you're curious about a sauce past the two reviews that I've been able to, put out here for everyone to enjoy and view, there are plenty of other, testimonials of amazingness going on. So definitely excited for that. Now I know you had, so right here on this review, you had at one point some spice blend going on. Is that something that's also in the works currently, or where are
Yeah.
you?
So for the barbecue rubs, that's also in the works as well. Like I said, this one's kind of like my stepping stone, and I just kind of want to. I don't know, kind of what direction if I want to focus on sauces or slowly incorporate some sauces and branch out. But I definitely want to do everything. But that barbecue rub in particular is one of my home runs. That was the one that I came up with a few years ago. Just made a few tweaks here and there, but that one I really like it, and I really want to bring that one to market. That one's Ghostly Kiss. So
Okay.
keep an eye out. Hopefully, I can get it to market soon. But yeah, it has a little bit of ghost pepper powder. It has sweetness. It has sour. Has some umami. So I try to hit like all the flavor notes. And my original intent for it was for like competition like style barbecue rubs, somebody to throw on because it hits all those flavor notes. So it works out. But like I said, everybody gets creative. One of my buddies, he buys it every time I restock, or if I'm selling it to friends and family just locally, he'll buy a couple bottles and he was like, "Yeah, dude, this is perfect on burgers or whatever." But
Yep.
yeah, definitely want to expand. I want to do everything, man.
It's speaking of different use cases for all those that are potentially, interested in incorporating spice blends of any kind into their, everyday foods. If you are ever making fries at home, whether that be you're shredding your own potatoes or what have you, or you're even grabbing one of those bags of like frozen tots or French fries, as you get going and those start to get before they fully finish, if you take some pepper powder, seasoning, whatever of your choice, and really toss and incorporate it in that and then finish it, oh my goodness. I can only imagine, based on that ghostly kiss, that would be phenomenal on, say, some fries or some tots, letting that just embed deep down in the flakes of the tot. Oh,
And I
sounds
actually
amazing.
think, I forget. I think one of my friends actually just did that recently, and they were like, "Oh yeah, use it on fries." And I was like, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
now that you say that too, throwing it on like right before they're done, that's something I've never even thought of because I always have that issue whenever I make like homemade fries or something. I'm like, the seasoning don't stick.
yep.
Maybe that's the key.
Yep, that is the key because it's right there at that point where it's no longer oversaturated from the cold and it's
Yeah.
starting to go from just a nice, glistening, soft nature that's going to hold and start to create that crisp crunch on the outside, and it locks it in on that crisp crunch. And man, that's the way to go. Spoiler alert, if you've been ever making fries or tater tots or any kind of fried potato, or I guess really could do any kind of fried product, that last few seconds, minute or so that's in that time frame before you finish, that's kind of that key pivotal moment to season up good. If you season before, everything just kind of like as it melts, it just
Yeah.
goes all in the tray and doesn't help. And
If you do it after, then it doesn't stick.
yep, yep. And then you're just kind of scraping at the
Yeah.
bottom of the plate or bowl or whatever to get it out. So yeah, but no, good stuff there. You now obviously you've been selling out super quick on Taco Hero. It just recently dropped. What has that experience been like? How was that for you to see, just go out like that?
It's been like it's really been fast paced. It's been kind of full speed, but I'm so far keeping up with the pace of it. I think the biggest thing is just making sure all my inventory, because you know how I package it with my boxes and everything.
Yep.
Making sure I'm keeping up on my inventory, making sure I'm not overselling that I don't have, or make sure I'm not gonna have delays. Like, oh, I gotta wait for boxes. So I think that whole thing has been kind of new to me because before this, I've just been kind of selling like here, there, just a few in between. But now I've already pretty much beat what I did the entire last year in this month. So now it's just kind of figuring out how I'm going to keep up with it and just stay on top of it and making sure everything's organized and inventory is there. I think that's been the biggest thing, but it's been awesome. It's been so good to see all the positive reviews and feedback from everybody from the sauce. That makes me happy. And I've tried reaching out to a lot of local places. Nothing for sure yet. I am in one local store,
Okay.
and possibly a restaurant, hopefully. But I've just been, learning. I'm winging it all. I mean, I'm I've never done like business classes or anything, so it's all just been a learning curve. But it's fun, and yeah, just taking it day by day.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's I guess quickly to touch on as well the packaging side, because then I also have another question on exactly what you just mentioned as far as getting going. But on the packaging, I mean, for anyone that's unfamiliar, it comes in a nice black felt bag. It is got this nice gold tassel around it. It looks like you just, you've been awarded your graduation diploma and you're ready to go. Just slam back a nice bottle of hot sauce.
See, and that was kind of like my original vision, even before back in 2020 when I started making it, and I knew that eventually I wanted to make it like an actual brand company. That was like my vision. I call it like the Crown Royal of hot sauce. That's what I like to say.
Nice,
Comes in the
nice.
night bag, just like the Crown Royal. It's the Crown Royal of hot sauce, and that's how I like to explain it to people too. Because if that's the other reason why I don't want to go like to big box stores necessarily is you got to find kind of like the niche where the people are actually wanting it. Because if you were to go to like Walmart, or like, this is how I see it in my case at least,
Mhm.
if you go to Walmart and you see my bottle on there for whatever, 11.99, and you look right next to it and you see Tapatio whatever for $1.50, what do you think they're gonna do? So so that's another reason I don't really want to branch into like big box. I want to kind of stay in my niche, and but also I like to describe it to people that don't really understand it too. Is they're like, well, why would you pay? It's the same thing if you look at like alcohol, like beer. You got your Bud Light or you got your local craft beer.
Mhm.
So that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that. They're just like,
Yeah, well, and I mean, even to that point, though,
mm-hmm,
I think that eventually that could easily be something that could potentially
yeah,
be in the cards. I mean, it's ultimately, it was starting anything. It's always about educating the consumers and educating everyone that's out there to understand what is the difference between yours versus something else on the shelf that is potentially cheaper. And it's just like, at the end of the day, people buy what they like. So I
yeah,
could definitely see that being a possibility, as someone would look at it and just be like, okay, yeah, here we go. We're going to get this one.
let's try.
So no, I definitely, I mean, it happens too with, like you said, with the beer side of the world. You got those that are just, they're like, I got $20 and I'll buy as many as I can for $20. And then you got the individuals that are like, you know what? I want a different experience tonight, or I want to try something that I haven't had before. Da da da. And then they go out there and they're fine tuning exactly what they want. So
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just always, whenever I was thinking back in 2020, I always had that vision of just somebody opening the box, having a nice bag, having a tassel around the neck. I always just thought about it, and then I made it happen.
nice, yeah. Well, and then you got a hot sauce, or you're sponsoring your hot sauce in a upcoming pepper competition. When is that, and where is that for all those that
Uh,
are watching and listening?
that is going to be in Tampa, Florida, and I forget the exact. I know it's in April. Let me
Oh, the
see.
is that April 4th or
I
14th, something like that,
I
I
want to say
think.
it's the 4th. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I think it's April 4th. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll be sponsoring it. I won't personally be there, unfortunately, but I will be there in support, and my sauces might be at a booth. Haven't really confirmed it 100% yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll be set up at a booth. So anybody who will be there, you could find it, and I'll probably release details once that's more solidified. But yeah,
Okay.
and then we're also
Very
getting ready
exciting.
for the fiery food show at the end of this month too, and kind of same thing. I'll be there actually, of course, because it's here in Albuquerque and it's a 3-day event. And I won't have a booth set up, but my sauces will be at a booth,
Okay.
and I'll be there. selling it.
Very nice. That's super cool to hear. And all those that are in Albuquerque or close enough to be able to go to the Fiery Food Show to pick some up, highly recommend you go check those out. I mean, and to the note of having your sauce featured in that pepper competition, just from trying it, reviewing it, I can see where someone might get the false sense of security that they're
Yeah.
like, this will be something that will be a nice little palate cleanse, keep me going through. But no, no, no. The way you have the spice blend going through that, the way these contestants are going to be eating this, screaming hot pods, and then to go with it's one thing because you get used to kind of that expectation of heat and that expectation of flavor. And then if you're going to introduce something like that, that's just packed with flavor, it's going to be a mental game on a lot of those individuals because what they're going to do is mentally, they're going to want to hold on to the great taste of the sauce, but then they're going to get slapped in the face with the next round of peppers. And I bet you that that is going to be a hard hit for some folks.
Yeah, it's kind of like that false hope.
Yes.
Like, oh, I got this, and then
Yep.
just and that was the thing is wasn't sure if my sauce would be able to be in the competition because I was like, it's not hot. Usually you got these screamers with the reapers and whatever, and I was like, yeah, it's not hot, but I would like to play a hand in it. But so that's what they were saying. They were like, well, I think actually this sauce would be good as like one of the beginning rounds, for
Hmm.
Canada, one of the earlier rounds, and just kind of get them kind of shook up like that. So I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
it all
If
worked out good.
they're doing, I know what was given portion wise during the October one that I was in, but if they were given at least a tablespoon of that sauce, it is definitely going to set them up for some false expectations of what is to come and the spices going on and the body just absorbing them. It's going to cause some riptides across the contestants. So excited to see how that one plays out for sure.
I'm really excited for that. Ready
The
for it.
Now there's quite a few things that I want to jump into, but we're gonna do a very quick impromptu round of burning choices. It's a this or that type of a scenario. So first and foremost, we'll start off with a softball. Favorite pepper. We'll start off with one that's not a this or that, just to get the mind prepped.
Okay, so me, I'm not as knowledgeable as a lot of people in the pepper community as far as peppers go, but of the ones that I have tried, definitely high up there would be the Sugar Rush Peach, of course. It's delicious. You can't go wrong with it. KSLS, delicious. Can't go wrong with it. Um, and also, there's one, what was it? The Yellow Fever. That one was really good. That one was sent to me by Michael Feeney, and I ended up really enjoying that one. I cut it up, put it on some eggs, ate it whole. Which was it's kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of trying out different peppers here and there as they come around, but yeah,
Okay.
there's a. I'm typically the lower heat, more flavor kind of guy.
Okay. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's start some this or that. We
All
have
right.
team mustard or team chocolate.
Um, eh, that one's kind of tough for me because I know a lot of people like mustards, and the more I try them, the I think the more I don't end up liking them.
Okay.
And the few chocolates I have tried, they weren't my favorite, but they weren't as bad. I'll go with chocolates.
Okay. Red or orange.
Orange for sure. Orange is where the flavor's at for me. I love the orange.
All right. That's orange is a nice variety selection if you will because typically yes as you're saying tons of flavor but they also pack a nice punch more than say the yellows that you can find. So it's always interesting to see where everyone stands on that. All right. So we have the New Mexico hatch chili or the Colorado hatch chili.
So
Or
actually, I haven't had the Colorado chili, the Pueblo chili.
Yes, yes. I was about to correct myself, but
Yeah, oh, I know. It's huge out here. It's a battle. But you can't go wrong with hatch chili, man. You can't. It's in the land. It's the soil that it's grown.
yep,
I mean,
definitely.
from my knowledge, I haven't had Pueblo chili, but
It,
I don't think it's beating hatch.
okay, okay. Very,
Stay
very
strong.
fair statement. You know, very fair statement there. All right, so red or green hatch chili sauce or
So
hatch chili
actually,
salsa.
kind of funny. I used to only do red chili, and then after my tolerance grew, because actually green chili was too spicy for me. Red was the only thing I could handle back then, but now I flipped and I love green more than red, but red's still close in my heart.
All right, fair enough. I'm a big sucker for Christmas blend. I like both. It's just if I don't know if I could ever just choose one. If
Yeah,
I
Christmas is always that's usually the most popular to go with.
well, it's because you don't have to make that choice. It just kind
Yeah,
of
it's like just give me
obliterates
both.
it. Okay, okay. Well, all right. We will. I have two more questions, and then we'll just jump on over to a very fun game that has been curated, and it is a duel round game. So, look forward to jumping into that. But now, one question that everyone always likes to ask and understand and know: what out of all the things that you've had, what has been the thing that has rocked you the hardest or left the biggest memory impact on you?
Hmm. There's been a few honorable mentions. I could let's see. Let me think for a sec. I would definitely say as far as like um, the most like gut punch that I felt would definitely be the top two. Would be the Brandon Joy cheese, which is a super hot cheese that I heard had cap crystals and tink and pow. So that one, that's the worst cramps I've ever felt. Was off of that. Second one right behind that would be the Pizza Extreme Challenge, which is really spicy pepper powder that you put on a pizza and have to consume. That was my really first experience with cap cramps, and that was a ride for sure. And then as far as mouth burn, when I was first starting out, those lava drops, that was really intense for me. The burn would last a good 10, 15 minutes before it finally started coming down. So as far as mouth burn, I would say starting out was like sludge lava drops, and then of course we got some really hot tinks around too.
Yep. Yep, definitely.
But yeah,
I could see all those being the case. Now, the Brandon Joy cheese, is that the death cheese from the 12 days?
yeah,
Yep. That one seemed to actually mention this on Tuesday's episode. That one seemed to hit hard to a lot of folks, and I guess I got lucky. I had obviously the lactose intolerant side of things really waging war on me more so than the actual gut punch heat from it. But dude, that was some spicy cheese.
that was yeah. I usually I can get away with it. I've learned whenever I'm cramping, like, and especially too, like my cramps usually come on kind of early. So if I'm cramping from spicy stuff, I'll right away. I'll just after I consume something spicy, get an ice pack and just pre put it on the stomach, and then usually I get like small little waves, and it helps a ton.
Hmm.
That cheese, the ice pack did nothing for me. Nothing, zero, and that was the first time that's happened. I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, I had for lack of detail, I had a less than ideal experience the next morning uh, using the restroom. So that was about the extent of it. I had about 40, roughly about 45 minutes of an initial cramp wave before going to bed that night, and then I ended up just sleeping like a baby through it all. Other than that, and so I guess I got lucky. I kind of dodged the bullet on that one. Um,
Yeah, that was brutal.
All right. The this was something I was wanting to ask earlier, so it's a little bit out of order of what we've been talking about. but definitely wanted to touch on this. As far as individuals that have been, whether in your life or, ideally, have you had mentors kind of helping you along the way, or do you find yourself talking to and leaning on someone to kind of get the business side of everything going, whether that be creating product to fulfilling product?
Yeah, I have. There's a bunch of people I could be thinking, but definitely John Hard. He's been a huge help. I've also reached out to Zach a few times, chatted with him. Garrett over at Pex Peppers, chatted with him a few times. And then just a lot of people in Cap Crew too. Ryan Thomas, Michael Feeney. You know, just there's so many people I could go on and on and on. But
Yep,
yeah, whenever I have like an idea or need some second advice, I could reach out to so many people, be like, hey, this and that. And I'm huge about reaching out to people, and it just, I feel like we could all help each other in some way. But there's
absolutely.
so many people. But as far as like a mentor lately, I'd say John Hard. He's definitely given me some good insight and helped me along the way.
Yeah, no, John is definitely a great person to ask, and everyone you named is a phenomenal person to ask and to gain better insight from. John, obviously, multi award winning,
Yeah.
knows what he's been doing for quite a few years, and very successful at it. So, definitely a great person to have. And plus, he's a phenomenal individual. Outside excluding the everything that he's been able to accomplish from a business standpoint, as an individual himself, a very kind-hearted, caring person. So definitely a great mentor there.
Yeah. That's how he got his nickname,
Yep.
the Godfather,
Yep.
because he does so much for the community. I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. We have a very fun round. This is a game that's called The Five. Now, for all those that are watching, listening, maybe you have seen this game before, maybe you haven't. I'm going to go ahead and break it down for all those that are either just audio only listening or they're watching right now. I'm going to show you 5 images in order, and you have right here on the left-hand side of the screen numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, to what magnitude you give these, their power is all up to you. 1 could be the best, or 5 could be the best. That is completely your decision. And there's no, you don't get to change it after it's set. We will talk about it after the round is over if you would have swapped anything around. But this is always a very fun game. So here we go. Up first, we have Baby Shark.
Baby Shark. Okay. Hmm.
Where would
Let's
you
put,
like that to go?
let's put it at number 4.
Number 4. All right. All right. This, the fun part about this is the complete randomness of it all.
Ooh,
New
number.
Mexico. Where would you like it to go?
Let's put it at number 2.
Number 2 it is. All right.
Yeah.
Very safe play. I like what's going on here. Up next, we have roasted hatch chilies.
Man. Oh man. Hmm. Let's
So we
put
have
it at number 3.
1, 3, and 5, and this is going to 3.
I'll go to 3.
All right. Well, here we go. The whole game rides on this first round, on this next selection, because whatever you don't put this one at, the other one inherently is it. Nog.
Hmm. We'll put it at number 5.
Number 5. All right. There may be or there may not be any rhyme or reason to this lineup here, and we're about to find out now what you have as number 1. Chicken nuggies.
Eee, I'll take it.
Chicken nuggies. So Obviously, we have everything locked in here for all those that are listening. We have chicken nuggets as 1, New Mexico as 2, hatch chilies as 3, baby shark as 4, and eggnog as 5. Would you have changed anything if you could have?
I'd probably just change 1 and 3.
1
Do a
and
swap.
3. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. 1 made the list because of your push to beat FJ in the chicken nugget challenge. You were so determined. Your push, your drive the whole way through. Each and every attempt was just inspirational. So it had to make this here lineup for tonight's game. But we will jump it on over to the next one here.
All
Let's
right.
run it back. New round, new game, same rules. Pizza
Woo.
Extreme.
Number 2. That's
Number
number.
2. All right. This one is going to be an interesting round. This will be, for all those that are watching, I'm sorry, there's a little bit of some inside baseball, inside humor here. So bear with us. We have goggles.
Oh boy. Let's see.
Very, very famous for being a mad scientist and having the goggles ready to go. So that is why these have made their appearance here now.
Let's do number 3. No, no, number 1. I changed my mind. Number 1.
Oh, bold move. I like it. Oh, let me get that back on over here. And we will get that in place. All right. So locked in at number 1. We have canned fish as the next option.
Number 3.
Number 3. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, you are notoriously known for your canned meat challenges, more so fish. The
Yeah.
funkier, the better, it seems.
Yep.
Man, here we
Ah,
have where you shot yourself in the foot. The
dang it.
ever beloved Wonka chip, which the world still wants to know. What are you doing with holding on to all these Wonka chips?
Details coming soon. That's all I
Okay.
could say.
Okay. Well,
Couple months. Give it a couple months.
I think I
It'll
know where
all
you're
be.
going to inherently put this, but
Yeah, of course, number 4.
if you were to happen to put it at 5, you could always say 5 was number 1 in
Oh,
rankings.
that's true.
But then that would suffer everything else. So,
Let's stick with it. Let's
all
just run it.
right. Last one is tincture, number 5. That's all that's
Okay.
supposed to represent is just tincture.
Tincture.
So, all right. Well, there we go. Second round of the 5. What did you think? Would you have changed anything? How would the order have changed? What would you have done?
Probably would have put. Let's see. Probably would have put 4 with 2,
Okay.
and then 3 to 4.
3 to 4 and 4
Yeah.
to 2. Okay.
Goggles, the golden ticket, pizza extreme, sardines, and tink.
All right. All right. Yeah, I may have deliberately held the ticket for the end, hoping and knowing that you could have potentially put something else, higher. And sure enough, well, you fell victim to it here on the 5. But
Dang it.
all in all, it's a very fun time nonetheless. So, what did you think, actually, first and foremost? What did you think of the game?
That was great. I knew there was going to be sardines somewhere. I knew it. I knew it. Before the show, I was like, it's going to be in there somewhere.
I was starting to grab a screen grab of you dumping a can in the blender, and then I was like, the image itself was so much, the proportion size of that image because of it being a screen grab was so far greater than what everything else was. So I was like, I'll just get a clean, pristine image of canned fish.
There's one I'm confused on, though.
Okay.
Baby shark.
Well, That is simply because you also have a young one in the household, and I'm
That's
sure
what.
you are also plagued with that. As I mean, I guess I still get it from time to time, but it used to be on repeat here. So it was all simply to throw you off the trail and
I
make
was
you
like,
just question.
it's like, is that supposed to be sardines? No.
Could be. It could
Yeah.
be. It's what happens whenever you grow up and you no longer like Baby Shark. It's you're getting Baby Shark in a can. So
Yep, there you go. That was good.
definitely.
That was a good one. I was prepared. I always have these ready to go.
I thought about telling you, but I didn't want to spoil the surprise. So I'm glad that you had it there, ready to go, locked and loaded. Um, here's a great point where you're able to share a nugget of knowledge. We can approach this from one of two areas, either from the production standpoint, or you can speak on the tolerance building and kind of getting into finding your love and passion for capsaicin.
Hmm. So like tips and tricks
Yep.
or definitely say maybe I'll do a little bit of both. But for tolerance side, um just be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. It's being consistent. It doesn't matter, where your level's at. If you continuously, just do spice very often, the more you're going to get used. Just like anything, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And I think it's kind of funny too. We were kind of talking about this earlier already, but you'll see it'll open your eyes to more food. So if you're a foodie and there's like those spicy dishes, like I know one for me that really changed after building my tolerance was like Thai curry.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could get the hottest one, and you still get all those amazing flavors behind it. And before you couldn't pick up any of them. So, but yeah, I would just say consistency. Just set a timer on your phone. Every 2 hours I'm gonna do something spicy. Consistent.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. Very good nugget of knowledge there. I definitely think that that would resound well with a lot of the individuals that are just starting out. Also, did issue a very fun and playful challenge to if someone is out there and they haven't really dabbled too much in spice, this is the year to start and just get going and find where you're comfortable and just continue to push that comfortability just ever so slightly each and every day.
Yeah, and there's more and more spicy products and shows and everything. It's growing. It's always grown.
Well, here's the next fun part. This is where you get to put someone on the hot seat. So the hot seat is someone that you would think would make a great guest for the show.
I think somebody that would make a great guest would be Michael Feeney. I can't tell you. Ever since I joined, it's been just over a year from Cap Crew, but just I'm sure you've seen him too. He
Yep.
pushes everybody. He's a great guy over with White River Pepper Co. And but yeah, I think he'd be great to have on the show. Just pick his brain, what got him into spice, and just it's awesome to see him always encouraging people and pushing people. And honestly, without the help of him and a lot of the other people in Cap Crew, I wouldn't be here with my company. If I never was able to get in. So he's been a huge help too, as far as like feedback and somebody I could go to that I trust for. Hey, what do you think I should do? Because like I said, starting out this, it's hard coming with no business background or anything. The logistic sides of things. Just everything. It's kind of nice to have somebody like to pick apart stuff and kind of work it out with you. Because I don't have
Yep.
a business partner or anything. It's been me Han Solo, so it's kind of nice having that. But I think he'd be a great guest to come on. He has a lot of knowledge, a lot of good advice, and he's just a really interesting guy.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for that nomination. And Feeney, I will be reaching out to you and we'll be setting up a time to have you on the show. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to twist your arm and get you on here. Feeney is also another great friend, and it has been far too long that I have gone on without having him on here. So, thank you so much for that. Now, the last thing is, letting everyone know where they can find you, how they can find you, and do you have anything else you want to let everyone know about what you have going on?
Yeah, you can find me at my Etsy store. You can find me on Instagram. It's Chico underscore Blanco underscore HS. Facebook, Chico Blanco Hot Sauce Co. That's my main airways right now. Eventually, I'm going to be trying to branch off and do a website off of Etsy instead of Etsy for orders and stuff. But yeah, that's where you can find me for now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, then we got the Fiery Food Show coming up. So if anybody's out there, feel free to come say hey. Love meeting everybody in the pepper community. Like I said, I think we should all be here to help each other, support each other, grow each other however we can. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Excited to hear about your growth, see your growth, talk about your journey, learn about everything that you've gone through to get you to this point here. And I already know that you're going to have great success with everything that you're doing. So continue what you got going on, and I would love to have you back to dive deeper.
For sure, yeah. We'll have to get together more towards the end of the year and see how things have changed. Hopefully for the better.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brandon, so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on here, learn about your success and everything that you have going on. Continue to love watching you grow and can't wait to see where you take things. Now, if you would like to keep up with Chico Blanco Hot Sauce, I will have the direct links for everything down below, where you can catch them, how you can get yourself on some of those amazing products. And hey, don't forget, new episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday night. I could not do this without y'all. Thank you so much, Swear Nation, for being a part of this. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads. And definitely want to go ahead and mention the amazing sponsors that we have so far for 2025. Thank you so much, podvision.io. If you are looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you hit a bump in the road and you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all your needs. As well as we have webdx.one. If you are looking for a new website, maybe it's old, outdated, you're not liking the way that its functionalities are, maybe you had somebody at one point and things have just kind of fallen off, that connection with them, I highly recommend checking out webdx.one for your social presence need online. Have your business looking and performing great from an online perspective. Now, also, they are able to help with automation, really streamline things. If you are a small to medium business, highly recommend checking out everything they're able to do with automated systems and helping your business grow. Episode 76 is in the books. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.